Hello and welcome to another Starcraft 2 beta commentary. I am your host Wissy and I are a player in Terran! Woo! I'm so happy I got Terran. Now anyway, let me get back onto this. This is a 1v1 on the map Steps of War and it's YoOi! YoOi! As the red Zerg and myself as the blue Terran. Yeah, you like that, don't you? So do I. Easy mode has been activated. So, let's get this cracking because not much is going to happen right at the very start. This guy is the best StarCraft 2 player in the world, by the way. I'm the 17.5th. He just lost a drone to my SCVs. Perhaps he's not the best StarCraft 2 player ever. He might just be lying to me. I actually believed him at first. So, yeah, we can see a rather late spawning pool going down. It's not that late, I guess it's 12:13, but yeah, I don't know if he's so keen on rushing me now that he's seen that I've walled this off, which obviously I'm going to do as a Terran player. I'm not actually going to be doing anything too stupid to begin with. I'm actually going to play it as Terran are supposed to play. I'm going to sit in my base and basically sit there for a good 15 or so minutes and sit there some more whilst I amass a huge army, and the enemy can't really do much about that. So yeah, this is pretty non-eventful so far. He's scouting around with his overlords. It's always a good idea to keep an overlord behind the mineral line of the natural. That way you can keep a check on your enemy. But I'm not playing Zerg, he is. I shouldn't be telling you how to do it. I'm playing Terran, baby! Woo! So yeah, as you might be able to tell, I'm somewhat excited to get Terran because, to be quite frank, they're easy! So, there you go, I said it. Everyone's going to be like, oh, well, Alzim or whatever, your typical critiques, are going to be like, oh my god, you're whining every game. Why are you whining? You're such a whiner. Did you not realise that that's somewhat ironic to call me a whiner? When you're whining yourself? Well, anyway, let's not ponder on that for too long. Let's focus on the hatchery that is turning into a lair. Fascinating stuff. Let's watch it happen. Look at it. Ooh. No, I'm not on drugs, by the way, people, in case I'm going to get comments saying that. I'm just somewhat happy for whatever reason. So, yeah, you can see a starport going down. So does that mean I'm going to be doing some Banshee harass? Or maybe some Viking harass against the overlords? That's always a good idea. Somewhat possibly more productive to get Vikings first rather than a Banshee and try and pick off some overlords. Every overlord you kill is 100 minerals, so if you manage to get a couple, you've pretty much paid off for that one Viking by itself. And there's very little that the Zerg can get at this point by the time I get Vikings. It's very unlikely he's going to have Mutalisks to stop my Vikings from killing his overlords. So he'll be inevitably losing a couple of overlords if I'm lucky with finding them. As you can see, I've made a tech lab for my factory, but I'm not going to actually use it. I'm going to wait for that starport to finish and I'm going to land that next to this tech lab. And whilst that tech lab is coming, so both the starports should be basically finished about the same time. That way I'll be able to produce a Banshee from each one, hopefully at exactly the same time. I like to do that. I know you should really just build things whenever you can build them, but I like to wait for a nice even number. So I have to cancel some SCVs from my main and wait for that 300 even number. And then boom! Down go the Banshees. They are on their way. At least in 60 seconds they will be. 60 seconds is quite a long time to wait for that air-to-ground unit, but I'm glad that it is that long, because if it was any shorter then Banshees would get nerfed. But then again, that's what I would like. So actually rather, yeah, screw it. Give them like a 10-second build time. That'll make the game a lot more interesting. I'm going to be upgrading Cloaking Field by the looks of it. What have we got here? He's going for a pneumatized carapace that basically gives the overlords faster speed, which is basically absolutely necessary because really, I mean, it helps a lot. It gives you a good way to scout their base and get out without losing your overlords, as well as the fact that if I do get Vikings on top of him, onto his overlords, he can actually move and block quicker. There you go, he's actually just upgraded right now. Ooh, look at it. So I've got 2 Vikings, he's got 1 Hydralisk, so he's already suspecting air. I'm not even sure if he did see that. Let's have a look at his view. Oh yes, of course he did, because he's got the overlord there. Sometimes I've been playing a bit of Zerg and I keep thinking I'm the Zerg player for some reason. But anyway, we can see a hatchery going down. This is a rather late hatchery for him. He's obviously been panicked about me rushing him with Banshees, so he's wanted to get out the Hydralisks and also the Overseer, of course, to deal with the cloaked Banshees. That way he can see my Banshees even if they're cloaked. So he's obviously panicking about this, which is why he's put down that hatchery rather late. He could have probably afforded to go for it quite a bit earlier. As you can see, I've already taken out one of his overlords, because you look at his supply depot, or supply, not supply depot, I'm getting so mixed up, supply, you will notice that he needs another overlord before he can make any more units. So yeah, what am I going to be doing? Making the Vikings. I made a couple of Banshees, I believe it was, that's it. Doing some harass, or he knows I'm going to be coming, because he can see me, the overlord. At least I think he saw me. I need to cover that a bit better. He can see that though. I guess the Overseer has quite a large range really, because my Banshees were here. So yeah, Overseers are pretty good for detecting invisibility units, that's for sure. So yeah, it basically means that the Banshees aren't going to be doing too much, which is why I'm quite happy I went for the Vikings. And I'm getting a couple more Banshees as well, just in case. So apparently that was map hack, me coming from around here to there. And yeah, just so you know, although you already do know, I obviously don't use map hack. Personally, I think it's retarded to use map hack really, because why play something that you need to depend on? You just play it all natural and just be as good as you can be. I don't see the point in map hack. It's just, oh well. People will use it though, and people obviously do at the moment, because there are hacks, as far as I know anyway. People have been whining about it on the forums. So hopefully Blizzard actually do something about map hacking, because I can tell you in Warcraft 3 it is abundant. There were so many hacks in Warcraft 3 recently, up to a certain point they had sheep, had these ridiculous hacks. They had hacks where you couldn't actually target your enemy buildings or anything like that. So there's almost no way, or farm hack or something, they would build farms and you couldn't target the farms, something like that. So it would take ages to kill them, and they would just stay in the game for like an eternity, or try and win, but most hackers suck. So you can almost always beat them. That was map hack as well, by the way, me going into the middle there. As you can see, all I've done, if we switch to me, is I have been scouting around all the main places, so it's far from map hack, it's just simply common sense. But there you go, you'll get common sense in this game if you play it enough times, which I've played so many games. Now, luckily for me, this is going to really pay off. I'm going to be going for a slight harass here, and he's ready to take on my main, or do some sort of attack by the looks of it. He won't get too far with those Hydras, but they could do some damage. So anything I can do to put him off would be in my favour, really. Because what am I doing? I've built 2 command centres in my main. One here, and I'm going to be sending them to each of the expansions. The expansions that you have to destroy destructible rocks to get to. So it's basically very hard to find them. Is he going to see that? Am I going to be unlucky? No, he does not. And whilst he doesn't see that, I see his base, and I see his drones. But not for long, because they are disappearing fast. These Banshees are going nuts. Now he's having to move all of his Hydralisks back here. So this is not looking too good for him right now. I'm going to do whatever damage I can to that lair as well. Because lairs, Zerg buildings take a long time to regenerate. They do regenerate, but they take a long time. So if you notice, if you're playing against a Zerg and you think, in fact, if you're a Terran player, especially a Terran player, if you've got Marauders and that, a lot of them will sacrifice Marauders into enemy Zerg buildings because it will be more productive for them in the long run. Even though they lose all of their Marauders and they get them all killed, by destroying that hatchery, they've done more damage than they could possibly wish for, because that's just how Marauders are at the moment. They really need fixing, but I'm not going to get into that because, again, someone's going to whine about it. And I can't be asked with your whining, you whiners. Oh my god, I'm a whiner because I called you a whiner. Let's whine together. So, yeah, whine and dine each other. That'd be fun. So, yeah, I'm map hacking again, apparently. I'm not sure what I'm doing to map hack, but there you go. Yeah, so I'm going to be putting down a command center on both of my mains, or expansions rather, as soon as they go up, so I can get the mules out. Good old mules. Very, very broken units. Now this one you cannot argue with me on. You know, if I said Marauders are that are broken or whatever, you're going to go, oh, they're not. But I mean, come on. Mules are definitely broken. Now,